We are?
Yes. I want to know, should these three guys get on YouTube? Good. Tell me your question. What's the big question? Pete Rose, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because he's the greatest baseball player that ever lived.
But?
Well, he's the butt guy. No.
What's the but? Tell me the but.
Pete Rose committed the cardinal sin of baseball. And the cardinal sin of baseball is you do not gamble. Pete Rose doesn't have the integrity that you need to be a Hall of Fame member. And there, you can look at his stats, that's fine. But you got to look at the individual
as well. A player, he was great. But offside the player, he threw the caveat and cheated. Well, did he cheat to win or did he cheat to lose?
He never cheated. Gambling wasn't the issue. It wasn't very subjective. Very subjective situation. It's the fact that when you bet on baseball, you have a situation where did you bet on the team or against the team? You will never know what he did.
We don't know what he did, right?
So with that as a gray area, all right. Let me ask you a question. You can't be definitive as to whether he belongs in the Hall of Fame or not. Do you think Pete Rose was the only guy ever? No, of course not. Of course not. He got caught. He got caught. And again, he was such a high-profile guy, though. He should have known better. He should have known better. I think what happened with Ray Fosse played a part in him staying out of the Hall of Fame. It may have, because what he did to Ray Fosse was criminal. At least in the eyes of a lot of people. But, you know, that's...
Carlos, what do you say?
I'll say that he should be in the Hall of Fame because if he gambled, I think it was to win, not to lose.
But we don't know, do we? We have no idea what he bet on. He could have bet on every game. He could have threw every game. Did he throw games on purpose? Do we know? But I think that's irrelevant whether he bet on his team or against his team. Because the point is, if I'm betting on my team and my pitcher's tired or he has a bad arm, and I say to him, Mr. Pitcher, please give me one more inning, and he blows out his arm, then I cost his career.
We're speculating now. We're speculating this stuff. It might not happen. We don't know.
We don't know what happened. Yeah. Everything we're talking about is very subjective.
Exactly.
So...
but there's been a lot of talk. Pete Rose should be. There's 50% that say he should be in because he was a great player. 50% say no, he didn't. He you know, because of the betting thing.
Yeah.
How many players bet? Then you throw in the wrench. How many players juiced like Clemens and people like that and threw games? Is that in the same category as Pete Rose?
Well, they didn't throw games. They were using steroids.
But isn't that the same as throwing a game?
No, I think it's worse.
They were allegedly using steroids. Now, Roger Clemens never admitted to it. The guy who accused him was a convicted felon to begin with. So where's the credibility there?
But didn't Roger Clemens just recently come up for Hall of Fame and they denied him?
Yeah, well, he's been in the Hall of Fame balloting for the last 10 years. He's now off, along with Barry Bonds. There's no...
Because of that asterisk.
Sure. Now, Barry Bonds, many people consider him to be the best ball player of all time. I have my doubts, but, you know, there's other players as well. Roger Clemens, as far as his statistics are concerned, many people have rated him as the third greatest pitcher of all time. Whether, in fact, he used steroids or not, you know, that's something to be debated. Who's number one and number two? Walter Johnson's the greatest pitcher that ever lived. What about Satchel Paige? Satchel Paige is, you know, his number. You will never know about Satchel Paige because he was in the Negro Leagues. He never got a chance to play in a major league.
It was a different era than what it was in the modern era.
Satchel Paige's major league record, it's a losing record. But then you got to look at the fact that he was playing well beyond his prime. Yeah, he played until his 50s. Yeah. That's correct.
Well, you have Nolan Ryan, Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson. You got three pitchers right there that could be the best.
Better than Clemens, absolutely. Sure. Well, personally, I think Tom Seaver was the greatest pitcher of all time.
Yeah, but let's go backwards to Pete Rose. Should he be in? Shouldn't he? Well, where do we stand right now?
I'm off for Seaver. Well, I'm being outvoted here 2-1, but what Pete Rose did, he could have avoided. He didn't avoid it, and now he's paying the price.
This is what I think. The man, when he went in the field as a player, gave 100% all the time. Whether it was running the bases, where he was trying to get a base hit, bring a run home, the guy gave his heart in the field. So what happened outside that, to me, is not that important. That's my opinion.
Well, when you say that, you're saying that
It's okay to throw games.
whatever the guys did on the field is great. Whatever they did off the field is not important. What about the story use?
So when did
So you got a
morality
situation-
become a point on whether or not a man gets into any Hall of Fame, whether it's music, baseball, football?
And then there was
The Hall of Fame has a criteria, has a directive.
Yeah, but by writers.
And part
By
of-
writers that very, one-sided sometimes.
Well-
There's just writers that give their opinion.
Writers are subjective, just like we are.
If they don't like you, they're going to write
Here's
against
the
you.
thing: if the older generation of Baseball Writers Association look at it as purists. I'm a purist myself because of my age. I don't deny it. Well, eventually, when you get the younger baseball writers in the group, there's approximately 500 writers, and there always has been roughly that number.
Good night, everyone. Good night, guys. See you
When
tomorrow
they
morning.
get in there and start to vote, I think eventually these guys that are being denied now will eventually get in. And I really think Pete Rose will be part of that. There's going to be a softening of feelings in terms of...
Is that because of time?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought there was a limitation on how long you could be on the ballot to get in.
You have the Golden Era group, which has no time limit. The Baseball Writers Association allows you 10 years of eligibility. Once you're past the 10 years of eligibility, the Golden Era Committee takes over, and they can eventually vote these people into the Hall of Fame. Gil Hodges is a great example. This guy should have been in the Hall of Fame decades ago.
But isn't the Golden Era guy still remembering what Pete Rose did?
Well,
Wait, before I leave and get in trouble with the woman, I'm going to bring up a subject that I know all three of us will agree on. Greatest relief pitcher of all time.
Oh,
Mariano Rivera.
we'll be here all night.
All right.
We'll be here all
No,
night.
that's over. I don't think there's a question.
No?
I do agree.
Incidentally, he's the only guy that got 100% of the vote from the
Right, that's
Baseball
right.
Writers
That's
Association.
right.
And why Derek Jeter didn't get 100%, I'll never know.
Beyond me.
He got
Beyond me.
99.7%. That means that
One
bozo
One
out
writer.
there didn't vote for him.
How do you not vote for
How do you
Derek
not-
Jeter
yeah.
to get into the Hall of Fame?
It's amazing to me.
I put Derek Jeter slightly behind Mr. Rose.
Oh,
Mr. Hustle. Mr.
Charlie
Hustle.
Hustle. Charlie Hustle.
Charlie Hustle.
5 World Championships, 7 American League pennants.
They didn't do any cheating.
There's no eyes in World Championships. It's a team effort. That's got
That's
nothing to do
correct.
with Jeter.
Well, Pete Rose, how many World Championships did he have?
I have no idea.
3. Jeter, 5.
Jeter played with the Yankees. Largest payroll in baseball history.
Oh, no. Boston. Boston has the highest payroll.
Now, not back in the
Well,
day.
he
when
played
they
during
won-
the time that
during
the
Jeter,
Red Sox decided they were going to outpay their way into the World Championship.
Let's not talk Yankees here. We're gonna
listen.
We're gonna stay friends.
Just so you know,
All right.
this is where I stand.
We'll finish it up here.
Okay.
We'll pick it up. Should these three guys have their own YouTube channel on baseball? Tell me yes or no in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and a like and subscribe. We'll see y'all later. See ya.
There you go.